Commander Zarathul stood tall on the bridge of her massive command station. Her blue skin gleamed under the bright lights as she watched the stars through the large viewing window. The crystalline formations along her temples caught the light and sparkled like diamonds. She felt proud and confident as she looked out at her fleet of warships surrounding the human colonies. The Zephyrian Empire had joined forces with 12 other alien races to stop human expansion into this sector of space. For months, they had kept the humans trapped on their small colonies around the planet Kepler 442b. The humans could not leave, and they could not get supplies from Earth. It was a perfect blockade. Subcommander Lyravan approached from behind. Her silver hair flowed like liquid metal, and her violet eyes glowed softly in the dim light. She belonged to the Etherian race and served as Zarathul's most trusted advisor. Her graceful movements made no sound as she walked across the metal floor. "Commander, the daily reports are ready," Lyravan said in her melodic voice. "All patrol routes are secure, and no human ships have attempted to break through our lines." Zarathul smiled and nodded. Excellent news. These humans thought they could spread across the galaxy like a plague, but we have shown them their place. Their primitive technology is no match for our superior weapons and shields. The bridge crew of various alien species worked quietly at their stations. Some had scales, others had fur, and a few glowed with inner light. They all shared the same feeling of superiority over the human race. The humans had surprised everyone when they first reached the stars 50 years ago, but now the galactic community had put them back in their proper place. On the sensor station, a young Zephyrian named Velandra noticed something on her screen. She frowned and adjusted the controls. A small blip appeared at the edge of their sensor range, moving slowly toward their position. It looked like a human ship, but the signal was weak and unclear. "Sub-Commander," Velandra called out, "I am detecting a single vessel approaching from the direction of Earth. The signature appears to be human, but I cannot get clear readings." Lyravan glided over to the sensor station and looked at the display. The ship was still too far away to identify properly. She studied the readings for a moment, then dismissed them with a wave of her hand. "Probably just another desperate refugee ship trying to reach the colonies," she said. "Or perhaps a merchant vessel that does not know about our blockade. Either way, it poses no threat to our forces." Meanwhile, in the deep black of space, the human ship UES Harbinger moved silently toward the alien blockade. On its bridge, Captain Lisa Morgan sat in her command chair studying the tactical displays. Her steel-gray eyes showed no emotion as she watched the alien fleet positions update on her screens. Auburn hair with streaks of silver was pulled back in a tight bun. At 42 years old, she had seen more space battles than most officers, twice her age. The Harbinger looked like an ordinary human cruiser from the outside, but Lisa knew it was anything but ordinary. This ship represented 20 years of secret research and development. Earth's greatest minds had worked in hidden facilities to create something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Now, it was time to test their work. Lieutenant. Commander Amy Rodriguez sat at the communications station, running through alien language protocols. She was one of the few humans who could speak multiple alien languages fluently. Her job was to try diplomacy first before the fighting began. She knew the aliens would probably refuse to listen, but Earth Command had ordered them to make the attempt. At the engineering station, Chief Engineer Kate Sullivan monitored the ship's unique systems. She had helped design many of the Harbinger's special capabilities during her years at the secret research facility. Her hands moved quickly over the controls as she prepared the ship's defensive systems for what was coming. "Captain, we are now within long-range sensor range of the alien fleet," reported Navigation Officer Dana White from her station. "They have detected us but seem to be ignoring our approach." Lisa nodded slowly. "Good. Let them think we are just another lost merchant ship. How long until we reach the outer perimeter of their blockade?" "Approximately 6 hours at current speed," Dana replied. "Maintain course and speed," Lisa ordered. "All departments prepare for combat operations, but keep all systems on standby mode. I want us to look as harmless as possible until the last moment." Back on the alien command station, Zarathul was enjoying dinner with several other fleet commanders. The dining hall was filled with the sounds of alien languages and laughter. They shared stories of their easy victory over the humans and made jokes about human weakness. "I still cannot believe how quickly they surrendered their expansion efforts," said Admiral Keth Mira of the Dracorian fleet. Her reptilian features showed amusement as she spoke. They sent only a few small ships to test our defenses, then gave up completely. Humans lack the warrior spirit, Zarathul replied. They are good at building things and farming, but they do not have the courage for real battle. This blockade will keep them contained forever. Lyravan entered the dining hall and approached their table. Her expression was neutral, but Zarathul could sense something in her advisor's energy field. Commander, I apologize for interrupting your meal, Lyravan said. The human vessel we detected earlier is still approaching our perimeter. Should we send a patrol to intercept and destroy it? Zarathul waved her hand dismissively. One small human ship against our entire fleet. Send a single patrol squadron to deal with it. Make it quick and clean so we can get back to more important matters. The alien commanders returned to their dinner conversation completely unaware that death was approaching them through the darkness of space. The Harbinger continued its steady course toward the blockade while its crew prepared for a battle that would change everything the galaxy thought it knew about human capabilities. The hour of decision passed slowly as Grand Admiral Thaisasara consulted with the leaders of 12 alien civilizations. Emergency communications flew between distant homeworlds as species that had never faced defeat struggled to accept their new reality. The humans had not only broken their blockade, but demonstrated technological superiority that changed everything. Navigation Officer Dana White activated the final protocol that Earth Command had prepared for this moment. The Harbinger began converting nearby asteroids and space debris into raw materials. Within minutes, the ship's replication systems were building additional vessels from cosmic dust and metal fragments. Captain, the asteroid belt conversion is proceeding normally, Dana reported. We will have over 300 ships within 6 hours. Lisa Morgan watched new Harbinger copies take shape in the darkness of space. Each vessel was identical to the original with full weapons systems, defensive capabilities, and crew complements. The sight would have been impossible to believe just days earlier, but human science had made the impossible routine. Diplomatic Corps. Leader Zixalar arrived at the command station in a ship representing all 13 species of the Galactic Alliance. The multi-species collective had sent their best negotiator to prevent total war with humanity. Zixalar's form shifted constantly between different alien shapes as representatives of each species took control. We come to negotiate, Zixalar announced as their ship docked with the command station. Thaisasara met the diplomatic team in the station's main conference room. Her energy form flickered with uncertainty as she faced the most important decision in galactic history. Accepting human equality would end thousands of years of alien superiority, but continuing to fight might result in the destruction of multiple civilizations. The humans have agreed to meet aboard their flagship, Zixalar reported. They are willing to discuss terms for ending this conflict. Meanwhile, Maya Johnson's security teams had successfully captured 15 alien officers, including Admiral Kethamira and several fleet commanders. The prisoners were treated well aboard the Harbinger, but they served as important bargaining tools for the upcoming negotiations. The alien prisoners are secure, Maya reported to Lisa. Admiral Kethamira has agreed to cooperate in exchange for medical treatment for her crew. Dr. Claire Adams had worked around the clock treating wounded aliens alongside human crew members. Her compassionate care had impressed the prisoners and helped reduce tensions between the species. She understood that healing could be as powerful as weapons in changing hearts and minds. The Dracorian Admiral is recovering well, Claire reported. She has expressed interest in learning about human medical techniques. The negotiations began in the Harbinger's main conference room. Representatives from all 13 alien species sat across from Captain Lisa Morgan and her senior officers. The atmosphere was tense, but both sides understood that compromise was better than continued warfare. Zixalar spoke first, switching between alien languages as different species voiced their concerns. The Alliance wants to understand how humans acquired advanced technology so quickly. Our intelligence suggested your species was decades behind our capabilities. Dr. Nina Chen answered the question with scientific precision. Human development follows different patterns than alien evolution. We do not specialize in single areas like your species do. Instead, we study everything and find ways to combine different approaches. You have been spying on us for 50 years, accused one of the Zephyrian representatives. We have been learning from you, Lisa corrected firmly. Every time our species interacted, we observed your techniques and found ways to improve them. Human curiosity and adaptability allowed us to advance faster than you expected. Beth Turner presented detailed records of human scientific development over the past 5 decades. The files showed how Earth's researchers had studied alien technologies and found ways to make them work together in harmony rather than competition. Your mistake was believing that specialization is superior to adaptation, she explained. Each of your species focused on one area of science, while humans studied all areas simultaneously. Kate Sullivan demonstrated how human engineers had solved compatibility problems between different alien technologies. Her presentation showed fusion reactors that combined Etherian energy manipulation with Zephyrian power generation and Dracorian control systems. The key was approaching the problem from a completely different perspective, she said. Instead of trying to make alien technologies work like alien science, we made them work like human science. Grand Admiral Thaisa Zara finally spoke after hours of discussion. Her energy form had stabilized into a more peaceful glow as she accepted the reality of human advancement. What do you want from us? She asked directly. Equal treatment, Lisa replied simply. End the blockade, allow human expansion, and recognize our species as legitimate members of the galactic community. In return, we will share some of our technological improvements and work together for mutual benefit. And if we agree to these terms, asked Zixalar, then humanity will become a valuable ally instead of a dangerous enemy, Lisa promised. We have learned much from your species, and we can teach you things as well. The negotiations continued for several more hours as details were worked out. The Alien Alliance agreed to lift the blockade immediately and establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth. In exchange, humans would share selected technologies and provide assistance with scientific research. Admiral Kethmira was released, along with the other prisoners, as a gesture of good faith. She met privately with Lisa before returning to her damaged ship. I underestimated your species, she admitted. Dracorian honor demands that I acknowledge your victory. There are no losers. Here, Lisa replied. Only partners learning to work together. The signing ceremony took place aboard the Harbinger, with representatives from all 14 species present. The treaty established new boundaries for human expansion and created joint research programs that would benefit everyone. Zarathul signed for the Zephyrian Empire with mixed emotions. Her pride was wounded by defeat, but she recognized the wisdom of cooperation over continued conflict. Perhaps we can learn something from human adaptability, she said to Lyravan as they prepared to leave. Change is never easy, her advisor replied, but it is often necessary for survival. As the alien fleets departed the blockade zone, Captain Lisa Morgan stood on her bridge watching the stars. The mission had succeeded beyond Earth Command's greatest hopes. Humanity now had access to the entire galaxy and the respective species that had once seen them as inferior. Set course for Earth, she commanded. It is time to report our success. The Harbinger and its fleet of copies began the long journey home, carrying news that would change human history. The age of galactic expansion was about to begin, and Earth's most dangerous ship had shown the way forward through determination, courage, and the uniquely human ability to adapt and overcome any challenge. Grand Admiral Thaisa Zara materialized on the bridge of the command station in a flash of brilliant white light. Her form was pure energy contained within a humanoid shape that glowed with inner fire. As the supreme commander of the Celestial Collective, she had come personally to deal with the human threat that was humiliating the Galactic Alliance. Report, she commanded in a voice that echoed like distant thunder. Zarathul tried to maintain her composure while briefing the most powerful being in the galaxy. Grand Admiral, the human vessel has demonstrated technologies that appear to violate known scientific laws. They can multiply their ship, adapt their defenses, and predict our tactical movements. Impossible, Thaisa Zara replied. Humans are a primitive species with limited understanding of advanced physics. Show me the tactical recordings. As Thaisa Zara reviewed the battle footage, her energy form flickered with confusion and anger. The human ship was using technology that combined elements from dozens of different alien civilizations. She recognized Zephyrian energy manipulation techniques mixed with Etherian dimensional phasing and Dracorian quantum prediction systems. How did they acquire our technologies? She demanded. Dr. Nina Chen had anticipated this exact question. On the Harbinger, she advised Captain Lisa about the psychological impact their revelations would have on the alien leadership. The next phase of their mission was to show the aliens that humans had been studying them for much longer than anyone suspected. Captain, we should contact their command station directly, Nina suggested. It is time to show them how much we really know about their capabilities. Beth Turner opened a direct channel to the alien command station. She spoke in the ancient ceremonial language of the Celestial Collective that few non-energy beings were supposed to understand. Grand Admiral Thysa, we greet you in the light of eternal knowledge, she said with perfect pronunciation. We have long studied your people and learned much from observing your techniques. Thysa's energy form blazed brighter with shock. The ceremonial language was sacred to her people and should have been unknown to any carbon-based life form. How could these humans speak it so perfectly? Who are you? She demanded. What do you want? We are Earth's ambassadors of change, Lisa replied, taking over the communication. For 50 years, your alliance has kept humanity confined to a few small colonies. During that time, we have watched and learned from every species in your coalition. Now, we offer you a choice. On the command station, Lyravan studied the sensor readings from the human fleet with growing amazement. Each ship showed technology signatures from multiple alien civilizations, but combined in ways that none of the original species had ever imagined. Commander, she reported to Zarathul, I am detecting Etherian phase technology, Zephyrian adaptive systems, Dracorian predictive matrices, and at least 9 other distinct technological signatures on each human vessel. That is impossible, Zarathul protested. Those technologies are incompatible with each other. No single ship could contain systems from so many different species. Security Chief Maya Johnson prepared her boarding teams aboard the Harbinger. Earth Command had given her specific orders to capture key alien commanders if the opportunity arose. Her teams carried equipment designed to function in multiple alien environments and weapons that could adapt to any threat. Captain, if we are going to make prisoner exchanges, we need to act soon, Maya reported. I have teams ready to board the damaged alien vessels. Proceed with boarding operations, Lisa commanded. Capture any command personnel you can find, but avoid unnecessary casualties. Maya's teams launched in small assault craft that could phase through solid matter, just like the main ship. They appeared directly inside the damaged alien vessels and quickly overwhelmed the confused crews. Within minutes, they had captured Admiral Kethmira and several other high-ranking officers. Thysa watched helplessly as her forces were systematically defeated by technology they thought they understood. The humans were not just using alien systems, but improving them in ways that should have taken centuries to develop. How long have you been studying us? She asked. Since the day we reached the stars, Lisa replied honestly. Every diplomatic contact, every trade negotiation, every time our species met, we were learning from you. Human adaptability is our greatest strength. We do not specialize like your people do. We take the best ideas from everyone and make them work together. Kate Sullivan monitored the ship's hybrid systems with pride. Human engineers had spent decades figuring out how to combine incompatible alien technologies. They had succeeded by approaching the problem differently than any alien species would have attempted. The quantum multiplication system is operating at full efficiency, she reported. We now have 47 fully functional copies of the Harbinger ready for combat operations. Dr. Claire Adams treated wounded alien prisoners with the same care she gave human crew members. Her medical knowledge included training on alien physiology, learned from captured databases and observation. She wanted to show the aliens that humans could be merciful as well as dangerous. The Dracorian Admiral will make a full recovery, she reported to Lisa. Her injuries are serious but not life-threatening. Good, Lisa replied. We may need her cooperation for the negotiations. On the alien command station, panic was spreading through the fleet as commanders realized they were completely outmatched. Ships that had seemed invincible just hours earlier were now helpless against human technology they could not understand or counter. Velandra detected new energy signatures approaching from multiple directions. Grand Admiral, more human ships are arriving from Earth. I count at least 200 vessels approaching our position. Thaisasara knew she faced a choice that would determine the future of galactic civilization. She could continue fighting and risk the destruction of her entire fleet, or she could negotiate with these surprisingly advanced humans. "What are your terms?" she asked Lisa. "Simple," Lisa replied. "End the blockade and recognize humanity as an equal member of the galactic community. In exchange, we will share some of our technological improvements with your species. And if we refuse," Thaisasara demanded. Lisa's voice remained calm but carried an edge of steel. "Then we will demonstrate why underestimating human capability was the biggest mistake your alliance ever made." To emphasize her point, Jenna Brooks targeted an empty asteroid field near the alien fleet. A single quantum torpedo turned the entire field into glowing particles that drifted away into space. The demonstration showed that human weapons could destroy anything the aliens could build. "You have 1 hour to decide," Lisa announced. "Choose wisely, Grand Admiral. The age of galactic human containment is over, whether you accept it peacefully or not." Thaisasara stared at the tactical display showing dozens of human ships surrounding her forces. Each vessel represented technology that surpassed anything her alliance possessed. For the first time in her long existence, she felt truly afraid of another species. Admiral Kethamira received the emergency call while she was inspecting her flagship's weapon systems. The massive Dracorian dreadnought was the most powerful ship in the blockade fleet. Its dark hull bristled with weapons designed to destroy entire space stations. When she heard about the human ship's attack on the patrol squadron, she could hardly believe the report. "One human vessel defeated 6 of our ships," she said to her tactical officer. "Are you certain this information is correct?" "Yes, Admiral," the officer replied. "Commander Zarathul has requested immediate support from all available heavy units." Kethamira's reptilian features showed a mixture of anger and curiosity. No human ship should possess the technology to challenge alien forces. She decided to see this threat for herself before destroying it completely. "Signal the fleet," she commanded. "All heavy cruisers and battleships are to form up on my position. We will surround this human vessel and end this embarrassment quickly." On the Harbinger, Dr. Nina Chen studied the alien response from her science station. As the ship's xenobiologist, she understood alien psychology better than anyone else in the crew. She watched the massive alien ships moving toward their position with professional interest. "Captain, they are responding exactly as predicted," she reported to Lisa. "The defeat of their patrol has triggered their pack mentality. They are bringing overwhelming force to restore their dominance." "How many ships are we looking at?" Lisa asked. 24 heavy vessels, including 1 dreadnought class," reported Dana White from Navigation. "Combined firepower is approximately 50 times greater than the patrol squadron." Lisa nodded calmly. The aliens were doing exactly what Earth Command had hoped they would do. Each escalation would allow the Harbinger to demonstrate new capabilities and send a clear message about human advancement. "Nina, what can you tell me about their psychology right now?" Lisa asked. Dr. Chen consulted her alien behavior analysis. "They are feeling confused and threatened. The unexpected defeat has shaken their confidence, but they still believe superior numbers will guarantee victory. This is our opportunity to show them how wrong they are." The alien fleet formed a perfect sphere around the Harbinger with the human ship at the center. Admiral Kethamira felt satisfied as she watched her forces take position. No ship could escape from this formation, and concentrated fire from all vessels would overwhelm any defensive system. "Target the human vessel with all weapons," she commanded. "I want that ship reduced to atoms. Admiral, we are detecting some unusual energy readings from the human ship," her science officer reported. "The vessel appears to be generating multiple quantum signatures." "Explain," Kethamira demanded. "It appears as if the ship is existing in several different dimensional phases simultaneously. Our targeting computers cannot lock onto a single solid target." Before Kethamira could respond, the impossible happened. The single human ship suddenly became 3 identical vessels, then 5, then 12. Within moments, there were dozens of Harbinger copies spread throughout the alien formation. "How is this possible?" Kethamira roared. "Ships cannot multiply themselves." On the original Harbinger communications officer, Beth Turner smiled as she activated the psychological warfare protocols. Her job was to use the aliens' own fears against them during combat. She opened channels to every alien ship in the fleet. "Attention, alien forces," she broadcast in perfect Dracorian. "You are now surrounded by the Earth Defense Fleet. Surrender, immediately, or face destruction." The alien commanders stared at their displays in shock. Each Harbinger copy appeared to be completely real, with full weapon signatures and shield systems. Their sensors could not tell which ship was the original, or if any of them were real at all. "Admiral, what are your orders?" asked Keth Mira's weapons officer. "We cannot target them all simultaneously. Pick the closest target and fire everything," Keth Mira commanded. "At least one of them must be real." The alien fleet opened fire with devastating force. Energy beams and missiles filled space as they attacked the Harbinger copies, but their weapons passed through most of the targets as if they were made of light. Only a few ships seemed to take any damage at all. Jenna Brooks targeted the alien flagship with the Harbinger's quantum weapons. The targeting system had been upgraded to track multiple enemy vessels simultaneously. She locked on to 12 different alien ships and prepared to fire. "Multiple targets acquired," she reported. "Quantum torpedo spread ready. Fire at will," Lisa commanded. 12 torpedoes launched from the various Harbinger copies. Each weapon moved through space in impossible patterns that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The alien ships tried to evade, but the torpedoes anticipated every movement and course change. The first torpedo struck Admiral Kethmira's dreadnought and exploded with tremendous force. The massive ship's shields flared and collapsed under the quantum energy assault. Secondary explosions rippled through the hull as critical systems overloaded. 11 more explosions followed as the other torpedoes found their targets. Within minutes, half of the alien fleet was crippled or destroyed. The surviving ships pulled back in terror as they realized their weapons were useless against this human technology. Medical officer Dr. Claire Adams treated a crew member who had been injured during the battle while monitoring morale throughout the ship. She noticed that despite the intense combat, the crew remained calm and focused. Human adaptability was proving superior to alien specialization once again. "Damage report," Lisa requested. "Minor hull damage on decks 7 and 12, Kate Sullivan reported. "All primary systems are operating normally. The quantum multiplication matrix is stable and ready for additional deployments." On the alien command station, Zara Thule watched the battle with growing horror. Her most powerful ships were being destroyed by technology that should not exist. The human vessels seemed to be using every known scientific principle in ways that defied understanding. "Commander, we are receiving emergency transmissions from the entire fleet," Lyravan reported. "Admiral Kethmira is requesting immediate evacuation of her damaged flagship." "This is impossible," Zarathul whispered. "How can humans possess such advanced technology?" Velandra looked up from her sensor station with a pale expression. "Commander, I am detecting massive energy readings approaching from the outer system. It appears to be reinforcements." "Our reinforcements?" Zarathul asked hopefully. "No, Commander," Velandra replied with fear in her voice. "The energy signatures are human." Through the darkness of space, more ships began to appear. But these were not ordinary human vessels. They were exact copies of the Harbinger approaching in perfect formation. The single human ship had somehow created an entire fleet of itself. Zarathul stared at the tactical display as dozens of identical human ships surrounded her forces. Each one appeared to be fully armed and ready for battle. Her superior alien technology meant nothing against an enemy that could multiply itself at will. "Open a channel to all ships," she commanded with a trembling voice. "Signal general retreat to the outer perimeter. We need time to understand what we are facing." The alien patrol squadron moved through space with lazy confidence. Commander Vexitar led the formation of 6 ships toward the approaching human vessel. His crew chatted casually as they flew, thinking this would be the easiest mission of their careers. The Zephyrian ships were sleek and powerful with energy weapons that could punch through any known human armor. "Target acquired," announced the weapons officer. "Single human cruiser approximately 2 kilometers in length. Standard Earth design with basic defensive capabilities. Lock weapons and prepare to fire on my command," Vextar ordered. "This should take less than a minute." On the Harbinger captain, Lisa Morgan watched the alien ships approach on her tactical display. 6 against 1 seemed like terrible odds, but she knew her ship carried secrets that would surprise these aliens. She had waited her entire career for this moment. "Amy, open a channel to the lead alien ship," Lisa commanded. Lieutenant Commander Amy Rodriguez activated the communications array and began speaking in the Zephyrian language. Her pronunciation was perfect after years of study. "Alien vessels, this is Captain Lisa Morgan of the Earth ship Harbinger. We are on a peaceful mission to deliver medical supplies to the human colonies. Please allow us to pass." Vextar heard the transmission and laughed out loud. The idea that humans could speak their language properly was amusing enough, but asking for safe passage was simply ridiculous. "Human vessel, you are in violation of the galactic blockade," he replied in heavily accented English. "Surrender immediately or be destroyed." "I guess diplomacy is off the table," Amy said to Lisa with a small smile. "It usually is with these types," Lisa replied. "Kate, are all systems ready?" Chief Engineer Kate Sullivan nodded from her station. "All defensive systems are online and ready, Captain. The adaptive shielding is fully charged and waiting for the first incoming fire." The alien patrol moved into attack formation. Vextar felt confident as his ship surrounded the lone human vessel. His weapons officer reported that target locks were established on all critical systems of the enemy ship. "Fire at will," Vextar commanded. Brilliant blue energy beams lanced out from the 6 alien ships, striking the Harbinger from multiple angles. The weapons were designed to overload any shield system and tear through the strongest hull materials known to galactic science. Vextar expected to see the human ship explode in a ball of fire. Instead, something impossible happened. The Harbinger's shields absorbed the energy blast completely. Not only did they absorb the attacks, but the shield frequency began to shift and change. Within seconds, the same blue energy that had struck the ship was being reflected back at the attacking vessels. "What is happening?" Vextar shouted as his own weapons fire was turned against his ships. "How are they doing this?" His weapons officer stared at his displays in confusion. "Sir, the human shields are adapting to our weapon frequencies. Each time we fire, they learn to counter our energy patterns." Kate Sullivan smiled as she watched her adaptive shielding system work perfectly. 20 years of research had gone into developing technology that could analyze and counter any known energy weapon in real time. The aliens thought they were advanced, but humans had learned to think differently. "Their shields are now completely immune to our standard weapons," reported the alien weapons officer. "Recommend switching to kinetic projectiles." "Do it," Vextar ordered. "Fire everything we have." The alien ships launched streams of solid projectiles at incredible speeds. These metal slugs should have torn through any ship's hull, but again the Harbinger surprised them. The ship seemed to flicker and become transparent. The projectiles passed through empty space where the ship had been just moments before. "Report," Vextar demanded as his crew stared at their instruments in shock. "Sir, the human ship appears to be phasing in and out of normal space. Our weapons cannot hit a target that is not fully in our dimension." Back on the Harbinger tactical officer, Jenna Brooks monitored the alien confusion with satisfaction. The phase generator was another piece of experimental technology that allowed the ship to briefly shift into subspace to avoid attacks. "Captain, the aliens are regrouping and calling for reinforcements," reported Dana White from navigation. "I count 12 additional ships moving toward our position." "Good," Lisa said calmly. "The more witnesses, the better." Jenna prepared to demonstrate our offensive capabilities. Jenna's fingers moved over her weapons controls. The Harbinger carried no ordinary energy weapons or missiles. Instead, it mounted experimental weapons that used quantum mechanics to predict and track enemy movements. The targeting system could calculate where an enemy ship would be several seconds in the future. "Targeting the lead alien vessel," Jenna announced. "Quantum torpedoes armed and ready. Fire," Lisa commanded. A single torpedo launched from the Harbinger and began moving toward Vextar's ship. The alien commander saw it coming and ordered evasive maneuvers. His ship turned and accelerated, trying to avoid the incoming weapon. But the torpedo seemed to anticipate every move his ship made. "It is following our course changes before we make them," his pilot reported in growing panic. "How can it know where we are going?" The torpedo struck Vextar's ship and exploded with devastating force. The alien vessel spun out of control with massive damage to its engines and weapons systems. The other patrol ships stopped their attack and fell back in confusion. On the main command station, Velandra watched the sensor readings with growing alarm. She had never seen anything like what was happening out there. The human ship was not just defending itself, but demonstrating technologies that should not exist. "Sub-Commander Lyraven," she called out. "The patrol squadron is reporting severe damage and requesting immediate reinforcement. The human vessel appears to have capabilities far beyond our intelligence estimates." Lyraven frowned as she studied the sensor data. The readings made no sense according to everything they knew about human technology. She felt a cold feeling growing in her stomach as she realized they might have underestimated their enemy. "Contact Commander Zarathul immediately," she ordered. "Tell her we have a problem." Zarathul arrived on the bridge within minutes. Her confident expression changed to concern as she saw the tactical display showing her damaged patrol ships retreating from a single human vessel. "This is impossible," she said. "How can one human ship defeat 6 of our patrol craft?" "Unknown, Commander," Lyraven replied. "Their technology appears to be far more advanced than our intelligence indicated. I recommend we send the heavy cruiser squadron to deal with this threat." Zarathul stared at the display showing the lone human ship sitting calmly in space after defeating her patrol. For the first time since the blockade began, she felt uncertain about the outcome of this encounter.